day.
Yeah, and Greg, you have those big, huge windows that lets all the light in, and
Exactly.
you were one of the first casinos I saw do that. Greg, do you feel that you said something in just a minute ago that the customer has spoken, right? Let's say that we start to get crowds again and we have lineups or whatever. Will we tend to go back to put more machines in, do you think?
Well, I think that it will be added judiciously. We are in a unique circumstance here because in May, we finally raised table games limits over $100. So
Right.
Table games, we did not focus a lot on table games product in the market because the max bet was always 100. Since the new regulations have gone through, we've seen a big expansion in table games play in our market, which has been really great to see. So now we're balancing machines versus adding table games.
Right.
And the other part I think that we're seeing all across hospitality is in many cases, it has more to do with staffing than lack of demand. And we really need to be focused on making sure that we have the staff in place. So delivering on that guest experience before we worry about adding. And what we're seeing across hospitality is a lot of these in-person experiences you're paying a premium for. So many table games minimums now are much higher than they used to be because to get a seat on a table is just simply more expensive than it was before. And so I think there's more of an analysis about changing the slot configuration to make it more of a premium experience rather than just adding machines for the sake of adding machines. And as I'm sure Bruce knows, all volume is not created equal. Just seeing more people on your floor doesn't mean more money is going to the bottom line. So if we're delivering an outstanding guest experience, catering our marketing programs, not just for the weekend, but really creating a 7-day experience when someone can come in any day of the week, understand that they can avoid some of the peak times, but still get the experience that they're looking for. That seems to be working better for the overall health of the business, rather than just trying to add, thinking that another headcount is going to add incrementally the same way that it has so far, what we've seen over the last 8 to 12 months.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Bruce, I feel like we've had a reset in our business, something that we haven't seen ever. I mean, you've been in the game longer than anybody that I know. And, in all your years in the business, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, and personally, I think it's great. And Craig raises a lot of points. It is about the quality of the experience because there's so many choices now, so many choices for the consumer and the gamer. I mean, I know what a busy market Colorado is, and we're here in the busiest Native American gaming market in the world in Southern California. And we all live and die without exception, will never change on repeat business. I think we all figured out once, if everybody came once, there's nobody who'd be open by the end of the year. So it really comes down to somewhat of psychology that we all use our own experiences. Where do you go twice a month and why do you go there? There aren't that many places that any of us go twice a month and really enjoy it and can't wait to get there. Maybe back then when Disneyland Pass was $100 when our son was growing up and we were near Orlando, I think we went every single weekend for a year.
Now it's $500 to do anything.
A day or something. Yeah, we were there. Speaking of how old I am, I was there the day Epcot opened. So,
oh man.
But it has caused more collaboration. And I'm very fortunate to be on a call every couple of weeks with 30 of the 60 general managers in our state. And I'm learning every day from them, as I learn from watching your shows, as I enjoy listening to Craig. And I haven't, to your question, seen it this way, but I think this way is the way. And I think this is the way it'll be for years to come. And it's not just how many machines can I fit in this building anymore. Craig's exactly right. So it's a more discerning customer, which I think for the better operators, as I know Monarch is, and I hope we are, it's all worth the collaboration.
Greg, do you feel like you had a little bit of an advantage that you were in the middle of, building the casino while this all happened, so you were able to tweak things out?
Initially, yes, just because it allowed us to configure our floor that way from the start. We weren't bound by a legacy floor configuration in terms of how we built out the floor. So that in itself helped somewhat. But since I don't think that it's made a big difference, I would say, along this same line, our focus is on what new product are we putting on the floor. I think we're much more selective in terms of making changes and seeing what's out there, because we are dealing with limited space. As Bruce said, he could add another 400 to 600 machines on his floor, but he's not. So, that's a whole different math equation when you're deciding which purchases to make, how long they're going to be on your floor, and what feedback are you getting from your guests. Another area for us was, electronic table games, which kind of fits into that hybrid slot table game category, whichever you want. But that's really where, as we were talking about premium experiences and watching those minimums go up on table games, well, if a guest wants to play a lower limit, now they're gravitating toward the electronic table games, which is a different experience, but they're still able to get that table games atmosphere, whether it's, dice, blackjack, even sick bow, whatever it is that they want to play there. So I think from a design perspective, I think a lot of it has to do is you're being very selective about what's going on and what's coming off your floor. And if something's coming off your floor, the analysis has to be done. Who's playing that game? It might not be a superstar game, but there might be a couple of superstar guests that are certainly playing it. You have to be very, very careful and at least have the conversation with them to be sure that you have something else on the floor. Even moving games now is a different equation because, people are used to the environment that they've been playing in. So it's all the wonderful stuff we get to do on the slot floor each and every day.
Well, it's all about reset. That's what I'm saying. We reset our business. We found out that less is more. We found out that, people, don't like that middle seat, and so we gave them the 2 end seats. And as operators, we shifted, and now we're coming out gangbusters, and people love the experience. Greg, Bruce, always a pleasure to have you on. Looking forward to having you both back on and talk about different topics.
Thank you, Tito.
My pleasure too. Nice to meet Greg, and always good to see you. So everybody,
good to meet you, Bruce. This was great.
Thank you.
Looking forward to having you both back on. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Anytime.